It's Real Talk with David and Nikki. Stay tuned for hot topics, gossip, and a little shade on the 5x5.
Welcome back to the 5x5. I'm your host, David, and this is our meet and greet show where we talk to interesting people, well, people that I find interesting, and I introduce them to you guys. If you don't know them, you should know them, and that's all I have to say about that. Today, we have a very special guest. He is an actor, model, and artist, and it's said that he is the face of the pinup boy and boyless movement, and I would happen to agree. His latest work includes Ahora Banana, and that guest is Trevor Wayne. Good morning, Trevor. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Freezing, but I'm good. Thank you for waking up, because it's morning for you still. He's on the West Coast, everybody. And so he woke up early, or maybe early, maybe not too early, to talk to us today.
No,
is it early for you?
It's like 11:30. That's I'm actually a day person, so I'm usually up about 8. So
oh, well,
it's all
that's good. Because I normally don't get up to 10 on my days off. I don't. Well, even when I'm working, I don't get up to 10 because I'm tired all the time, because I'm old. So what is going on? What's going on with Trevor Wayne right now today? What do you have going on today?
Oh man, well, I'm actually just in the middle of moving, so
Moving?
I've all my concentration in the past week has been on that, and just cutting prints and getting ready to ship stuff out. It's kind of a typical day, really.
A typical day in the life. Well, you may not know, and I talked to you before the show started, a few years ago, or maybe a couple years ago, no, it's more than a couple, maybe 3, I sent you a tweet, and it's not under the 5x5, it was under my personal account, and I sent you a tweet of a picture, and a picture of you sitting at a table with a female in a show that I absolutely love, and I asked, is this you? It was a Charmed episode.
I think I remember you sending me that tweet. Yeah, that was.
I was like, because this is after I start, following your work and the pinup boy stuff and the art, and I'm like, oh my God, that's him. Because Charmed is my hands down favorite show. I've actually recently started, my mother, well, she started herself watching Charmed, so we talk about that every day, but. And I'm going to tell her, I said, you don't know who I interviewed today. I interviewed this guy. And I can even tell you guys, it's the last season, and the episode is called Rewitched. And he's in the scene where they're doing like a speed dating thing, right?
Yeah. It was just a quick little, I'm kind of surprised you even caught it.
I don't. That's one thing. I'm very observant, But I just I'm like, wait a minute, I know that person, and I'm like, that's Trevor Wayne. He's in Charmed, and so I kind of geeked out and screamed and sounded like a white woman and all that kind of stuff. But it was awesome. So yours are my favorite show, so that even gives you more points.
Yeah, I wish I had some good stories about that day, but I don't think anything eventful happened. It was
you didn't meet Holly Marie Coombs and Phoebe and all them?
No, it was back in the day when when I first was still in town and was just doing extra work, as the day job. And so, like every other day I was on some set doing something, just sitting in the background or doing a cross, for money or whatever. And that was just one of the days that just herded us onto set, and they're like, "Here, do this." I'm like, "All right." And there's still TV shows that I forget that like the one that everyone sees me on is Dexter, which I still haven't even seen that show.
You haven't watched Dexter? I watched Dexter, but that show is too intense for me. Sometimes I'm like, I got to leave you alone for about 6 months before I can watch you again. But I didn't see you in Dexter. I may have. What season was it? Do you remember?
Second season. It was he was doing a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and they just for no reason show a close up of my face, and that's it. And
they were trying to get those eyes. If you guys go to Trevor's website, it's trevorwayne.com, or even the picture I have on the Facebook page and how I promoted the show, those eyes are killer. I mean, crazy killer. Anyway.
Oh, well, thank you.
Swoon. I told you I had to get all my screaming out before you called. It's so funny when you called into the show. I counted to 5 because I wanted to scream, but I didn't. Wouldn't have been very professional, I don't think. So recently, the pinup boy stuff that you've done on TrevorWayne.com, the most recent are the ones you're doing with the holidays. I got all the holidays, the Christmas, the little Cupid, the Irish guy with the beer, the guy with the raccoon hat. Is that like Founders Day or something?
I don't know what that is. I just like that photo.
Oh, I like it too. It's an awesome picture.
The original
so
idea
you do
was
one for Black?
Is what?
Go ahead.
Oh, well, the original idea was to do 12 images, one for each month, in case wanted to do a calendar. And there's some months where there's nothing going on, so that was one of the first kind of filler ones. And
gotcha.
I don't know. Just kind of decided to keep it. But, it could always change once I get the full set complete with, missing a few of the holidays, all Thanksgiving and Halloween. And so those have yet to be shot.
I'm waiting for Black History Month, That'd be funny. I don't know. You might get in trouble for that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have that sense of humor where I would think it was really funny, but probably a lot of people.
I would think it was funny, but everybody doesn't think like I do, so it may not be too funny to other people. But so I'm waiting for those, and also.
I'm Darlie Nikki, and you're listening to Real Talk on the 5x5.
What is your biggest fanboy obsession?
Oh, man. Well, my tastes are changing right now, but I did, at the time that Fanboy of the Universe asked me, I think my big thing was collecting He-Man toys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I had a whole collection of that, and, I really liked the 80s cartoons.
Now, do you ever take their artwork to any of the cons, like San Diego Comic Con, or you don't? No,
I don't think it would be. I wouldn't really know how to do that, and I'm not sure if I don't know if you have to rent space to do that, and I don't really want to stand outside with a trench coat with art under it. I'm not sure it would be lucrative for me with the cost of going down there or travel.
Yeah,
hotel,
I hear
whatever.
It's kind of expensive. Well, we're having one in my city in April. You can come and do it here. I'm sure it won't be very. It's like $5. It's Evansville, Indiana. It's not that serious here. No, I'm just being funny. But okay, so I told you I was going to ask this. How many tattoos do you have?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Really don't. I think the thing is, the more tattoos you get, the less you have, because it just kind of turns into one big one. Some tattoos I have, I don't know. They're, say like, my fingers are all tattooed, and it's one tattoo, but they're on different fingers. Do you count that as one tattoo, or, 10?
Count it as 10. Okay. I see what you're saying.
And some of them that started out as one just bled,
Just kind of made it like a whole work of art, one big one.
Yeah.
Well, I read you get your first tattoo when you were 18.
Yes.
And that's when you were living in Michigan?
I was, at the time, living in Northwest Indiana.
Oh, are you from Indiana?
Yeah. Well, kind of all over the Midwest. I was born in Chicago, moved up to Blueberry Farm in Michigan, moved back down to Indiana, back over the border to Illinois, and then back to Indiana. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it was actually all within that small area, like right around the border. And so I don't really know where I'm from, actually. I just say Midwest.
Oh, wow, because Northwest Indiana, I guess that would be like Merrillville, Michigan City, all those kind of places up there?
Hammond. Yeah.
Hammond,
like
okay.
Hammond, East Chicago area.
Wow, I've never been up that far in Indiana ever.
The town that Christmas Story was based on.
Get out.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Didn't know. So what made you say, okay, I'm done with the Midwest, other than the weather, I want to be an actor. Other than the Midwest.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think for sure the weather is a big part of it. Also, growing up there at the time before the internet and being gay and all that, I'm sure that had a lot to do with me wanting to get out and go somewhere that was a little more accepting. And of course, if you're an artist or actor or anything of any type, I think you kind of have to move to either LA or New York. It'd be hard to do that, I think, from there.
I also read that when you did come out at 18 and you was into the punk scene, and that's where you seen or found your most acceptance, and you didn't get some of the acceptance that you thought you were going to get from the gay community. Why do you think that was? Because of the tattoos? Because you were different?
I can only speak for myself and where I was at that moment in time. I know that, LA and New York City had huge things going on with the underground gay community, and they were accepting of club kids, and all the artists were really intense and crazy. But I think for me at that time in Chicago, the gay part of the town was trying to be very mainstream and trying to really blend with the straight community. So they kind of were trying to be GQ and when I first came out, and again, this is all before internet, so there is no Trevor Project, there's no let me see what's going on in the world. It's like you're in your bubble in Indiana. You don't know, except for what you see on TV, which at the time only made fun of gay people or made fun of punk rockers, or you didn't see. I kind of just fell into punk rock through friends that I started meeting, always assuming that they were gay bashers and Nazis, and because that's growing up, that's what you see on TV, and if you live in Indiana, you're not gonna go to New York City and find out the real story when you're 11. And
exactly.
So yeah, I guess I got a fake ID, and I went. When I was 19, I was really excited. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gay bars, and this is gonna be wonderful. I have this whole community that I've never had before, and I was really excited. And at the time, I had piercings in my face and bright orange hair, and I walked in and they pretty much laughed me out. I mean, they were really rude to me, and this was, again, before tattoos and piercings were cool. I mean, I'm loving that today it's so accepted. I love, that today everybody has a tattoo. Totally fine with that. I think it's wonderful. For me, it was never about trying to be different. It was just, I really loved it. And I couldn't understand why it got such a negative reaction. But at the time, that wasn't acceptable. And, especially in the Midwest. And, the gays were like, you're crazy looking. We don't know how to put you in a box. And so I went, down the street to where all the punk rockers hang out, and, all the guys with the mohawks and, piercings and chains, they were the ones that were just like, oh, you're gay, that's awesome, come hang out, let's drink. And so I ended up, for a few years just only hanging out at straight punk bars, which was a definite eye-opener about, the real world versus media for me at the time. And so, yeah, that's kind of how that came about.
Yeah, it's amazing where you found your support system, when you need it. When you think, okay, I'm going to fit in this world because this is who I am, and then you kind of get rejected, and then you go to this other world where you don't expect to be accepted, and you're embraced. I kind of like that. That's a nice story.
It was really confusing. It was not only you're dealing with being gay, but then you're also in the subculture of it. And, at the risk of sounding really negative, the gay community is probably the most judgmental group of people.
Oh, my God.
They're all fighting each other. They're like, oh, you're this. You're an otter. You're a bear. You're this. Or
bear.
We're going to make fun of you because you're transsexual. We're going to make fun of you for this. It's like, we're all, like, what happened to, like, the word community? Where, like, we should all be accepting and promoting each other and accepting it. And it's just weird how everyone has their own flags for their own thing and their own bar. And if you're one way and you go to this bar, they're weird with you. Or, it's and for me, it's weird. I walk this weird line with having the tattoos and everything. If I went into the leather bar, they think I'm one way, and then if I went into like a GQ bar, then they think I'm another way. And it's just it's weird what people project onto you in the gay community, especially based on like what bar you just happen to like want to get a drink at.
Yeah, Atlanta is so like that. It's very, very segregated, and not only with the races, with the cliques. You know, you have the Bears, you have the Twinks, you have the Pretty Boys, and you have the Jocks. I'm like, y'all do it. And so I stopped going out in Atlanta for that particular reason, because I'm a man of a particular size with all my curves, and you know, and I didn't fit in. And that's one of the reasons I moved to Atlanta, because in Indiana, as you said, you know, there's not, even today, there's not a lot of gay imagery. You don't see a lot of you unless you go to a major city, which even there, it's, you know, it's not as prevalent as you would think it would be. So I moved to Atlanta, and then you get, you know, it's almost worse in some respects, because you don't know where you fit in. So I'm just like, I'm just David, and I can fit in with any group, but I will not allow you to put me in a group, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can totally relate to that story. Let's see. But you know what? I was going to get a tattoo, but I'm terrified of needles. I give shots all day long, and I see blood and stuff like that. But but can black? This is a serious question. I'm not being funny. Can black people get tattoos? Because I'm a darker brother now, and can we get tattoos of color that look decent? Go ahead.
I don't really know. I think it really does depend on your skin, and I've seen some good work on darker skin. I think it really just depends on the person as an individual, because everyone's skin reacts differently to how it accepts ink and how it holds it, and yeah, I mean, it's I would say probably just stick with solid black work.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it, because I've heard that before. They're like, yeah, you can't get any color, because I wanted a little. If you are familiar with the X-Men, I wanted a little Phoenix symbol tattooed like on my arm somewhere, and they're like, yeah, don't do yellow. It won't look good. And I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. I would definitely talk to the tattoo artist about that. I never got as far with skin colors to experiment.
Podcasting straight to your MP3 player. Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
So I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna go and say, because I want one, but maybe I'm too old to get a tattoo. I need to stop playing around. Well, I want to talk about one particular tattoo that you have, is the Garbage Pail Kids tattoo across your chest. You're a big Garbage Pail Kid fan, obviously.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a part of the 80s for me and growing up, and I always collected them, and basically it's a comedy tattoo. I have nothing against comedy tattoos. I think I just had that space, right under, like on my ribs, right there under my chest, that was open, and at the time everyone had that trend of everyone's getting those big cholo gangster tattoos that says something or other, and that old English type, and so I thought it would be funny to get a cholo gangster tattoo, but of something funny, and the Garbage Pail Kid logo was actually the perfect thing, because it has that curve to it, and so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to get this because it's going to be funny, and I don't absolutely, and people ask if I regret it. Of course I don't regret it. I love it, but
I think it's cool.
It's funny that people who don't know what Garbage Pail Kids are, the trading card. I get these weird comments and hate mail from people that, you obviously don't respect yourself. You tattooed the word garbage on yourself. And I'm like, wow. I'm so glad that you just made yourself look so stupid by writing that to me. You have to research stuff before you decide to attack somebody. Come on.
Exactly. Even though I remember, I think I'm several years older than you, so I remember Garbage Pail Kids when I was growing up, and I used to remember my favorite was Messy Tessie. Messy Tessie did too much. I'm not going to tell her, so I'm not going to say what it is.
I remember those cards. Yeah, they were banned from our school. We weren't supposed to have them.
I remember there was kind of like a little story about the Garbage Pail Kid cards. It was like a controversy because they were so, overtly gross that a lot of the adults from the time didn't like them. Yeah,
and the thing is I think we got into the third or fourth series before the adults really figured out what was going on. And, they were pretty progressive. I remember in the first series there was the cross-dresser named Rocky E. Horror. And,
yes.
What kid's going to know what that is? The thing about Garbage Pail Kids that were great is there was a lot of adult references. And, so, and even the new ones that they were still making, I think they're still making them, I kind of fell off.
I just looked at it. 2014 collections. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're still like very adult themed, and there's references that that a small kid can't get, but that you're gonna laugh at anyway, and that's what I love that. I think they're brilliant. I think, yeah.
So let's talk about the art. I asked my last guest, where do those ideas come from? Like, guys, he's done art with, I don't know what the word to use, but he's in art that's featured like Marilyn Monroe holding a hot dog, Dexter with the ice cream, and now with the horror banana, Frankie is one of my favorites. Where's that come from? Where did the horror banana come from?
Actually, the horror banana came about just, I wanted to do Psycho, obviously the classic scene, but I just thought it would be funny. I already had my style set up with doing those like weird pop culture mashup things, and I decided I wanted to do something really poppy that was kind of like God, it's even hard to explain. I wanted to take something that was classically terrifying and replace it with something that was comedic. And the banana is it's a perfect pop art icon. I mean, bananas are in pop art everywhere, and so I thought that would be really funny. And it ended up taking on this sexist kind of overtones because as I was doing all these classic horror movies, with the exception of Frankenstein, they're all female leads and they're being attacked by bananas, and that's kind of like I think it's very interesting that all the biggest classic horror movies are the most famous ones are with all these female leads, and for some reason I just kind of never really. I mean, I've always heard the term scream queen, but when you look at how many are all with a female lead, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I watched your YouTube. Well, I think I've seen it on. I see it somewhere. The horror banana video that you made. When I tell you, yeah. I cracked up with the very first scene when I guess she goes outside and she comes back in, and it's just a banana, and that's what makes it funny. Yeah. It's just a banana, girl. Why are you screaming?
Yeah. Yeah, what I love about that is some people really hate it, and some people think it's funny, but it's completely my sense of humor. It's just this girl being stalked by a banana. Well,
that's what makes it funny.
Yeah,
yeah, and you're like horrifying, and I'm like, because it's so dramatic, and then when the villain is the banana. I found the humor in that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, she is screaming for the masses, baby, because she let it go. So I thought that was hilarious.
And she's that out amazing. The girl, I named her Bananarella.
I see. see that.
And the girl who played her is this amazing actress, Starina Johnson, and she's been a friend of mine for a long time, but she's just amazing. And I actually wasn't even sure if I wanted to ask because it's such a and I emailed her. I'm like, hey, would you be willing to get in the shower and let me slap you in the face with a banana? She's like, yes. I don't even need to hear the rest of it.
Of course I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and that shower scene just still cracks me up. Where you see the silhouette of the banana coming up, and then
it's
you see
hilarious.
the banana on the string. Yeah, it was exactly what I wanted. Some people were like, "Oh, you can see the string." I'm like, "You're supposed to, God."
Yeah, it's that thing is in plain sight. It's like I'm doing it. This is purpose. This is on purpose. I'm doing this on purpose.
Yeah,
and,
it's so much fun. I really have at times been thinking about either doing a sequel trailer or I kind of actually want to do a real movie about. And I was trying to come up with ideas. I mean, I was thinking about, this, maybe it's this lady who owns a fruit stand on the side of the street and someone gets murdered in front of the fruit stand and then possesses this banana and then terrorizes her. Like, something really stupid, but, funny. I mean, I like my horror movies to actually have a levity, where you walk away laughing and feeling good rather than disgusted or scared. I like, like horror movies where you can laugh, like Cabin in the Woods or Little Shop of Horrors. Like that.
Oh, exactly.
That's my kind of horror.
Well, I enjoyed it because y'all have to check it out. It's just look up Horror Banana. If you look it up, it comes up on the Google searches and stuff. But it's funny. And tell Miss what's her name? Starlina John. Something you say her name was?
Starina.
Your actress? Yeah. Starina, yeah. Bananarella. Tell her she has a scream for the masses because I was like, oh, girl, you did that.
Yeah,
and
that was
Trevor,
a real scream.
He played...
And we did that take, we did a few different takes throughout, and we were just like, oh, shit, we hope the neighbors don't freak out because her screams were really good. She has a horror movie scream.
She does. Yeah. It's the quintessential horror movie scream. And then you played Vincent. I had to go back. I said, did he say Vincent Price Check for real?
Yeah. Well, Vincent. I wanted to. Of course, I wanted to be in it. There was no reason for me to be in it. So I'm like, well, I got to write myself in it. And I thought, doing like a Alfred Hitchcock Vincent Price kind of introduction to it. And I'm like, oh, Vincent Price Check. It sounds like you're buying bananas.
I totally got it. I got the whole thing. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I
really
enjoy that.
But
people, you should be because I think it's kind of hilarious and it's totally funny. And then the imagery, like you guys check out TrevorWayne.com. Check out his art. Horror Bananas on there. And then one thing that I really liked from your art was how much the heart can hold. It's very simple. But it just puts it out there, love, and that's what I think. So coming up Valentine's Day, if you got to honey somebody, check out, and this is all on his website, How Much the Heart Can Hold, because it's a great image, the imagery, but it's very, very simple to me. Zelda Fitzgerald says, nobody has ever measured, not even poets, how much their heart can hold. And I think maybe that was your inspiration behind it.
Yes, and at the time, I was in Hawaii during the whole gay marriage, so everything was going on. So I was kind of inspired by the politics of all that. But it's intended to be a series. I wanted to do, the next set I want to do 2 punk rockers, 2 guys with mohawks or this, and then maybe like a cowboy and an Indian or a cop and a robber, and just like all these different kinds of people that you wouldn't think go together, but actually put them in the heart and make it look romantic. And I've kind of put that series off because I'm painting all my artwork as oil paintings now, so that's kind of taking up all my time. But I need to get back to that.
So when are we going to see some new work?
New work? I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, the thing is all my artwork has up until this point been, I draw everything by hand and then I scan it and do it all digitally because I like the flat comic book feel of it. I want it to look illustrated. However, I'm recently got into oil paints and I really like. I already did the 2 main Horror Banana ones, which was The Psycho and The Shining, as 18 by 24 oil paintings. Which they don't necessarily need to be oil. I think there's just something about oil that, because it takes so long, there's a little more love involved in it. But I want to redo all my paintings into oil, and then, after that, I'm going to sell all my prints. All my prints are going to be based on the painting. So eventually, everything you see that I have, like all the pencil and digital prints, will be replaced. So they will be the same, but the medium will be different for a more hands-on feel. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm working on. So with the rate I'm going, I'm thinking it's going to be about 1.5 years before I get everything transferred over to oil painting.
Oh wow!
So it's a big project. I'm basically going back and redoing everything I've ever done.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to look for that. So are you going to do more modeling? Is that still coming up? I love all the fan art that you received on your website. I think that's all very, very cool.
That's probably my favorite thing. I mean, the modeling is great. I've been lucky to have been photographed by some of the biggest photographers in the world. But when people actually take the time to make artwork out of you, I think that's probably the greatest honor there is.
Yeah, it's great, and it's really good stuff. And there's all kind of different images. There's a little garbage pail kid. There's a doll. There's all kinds of stuff. Check it out on the website, guys. Trevor Wayne, you have been delightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for finding me interesting. And,
well, hey, people don't think like me, so I wanted people to meet you the way I see you. That was fun for me. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm totally going to continue to be a fan. I'm going to find that Dexter episode, and I'm going to look you up on there. This show will be on Spreaker.com later tonight, and I'm going to have a contest. If somebody can tell me the number that's on the house from the Horror Banana in the little video, I'm going to send you I'll buy it, pinup show, the most recent one from Trevor Wayne's website. So check that out. Check it out on Blog Talk Radio. Spreaker tonight. Trevor Wayne, thank you so much. Much success in everything that's coming up for you. And we will talk to you again soon.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It's the 5x5. I'm David. We'll see you next time.
Check us out on Facebook at the 5x5 or tweet us at the 5x5 or go to Recycle Blog Talk for past shows. Thanks for tuning in.